Chat, here we go. First time in a few days, in case you have forgotten, your Honolulu Breeze have their first playoff opportunity as you are taking on the Houston Rockets. Whereas your Omaha Airmen will be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. The one thing I did forget to do is set up the lineups really quickly. So allow me to set up mine, then we'll set up yours, and we will get going. Butler and Weaver will probably be out. McSpanky, what's happening? I've been doing well. Let's see, we got Gooden as a big man. Those two as forwards. Kenny Snow is also a forward. Panescu, a 13 and a 5. Panescu deserves to be my backup forward, even though Kenny Snow is really good defensively. And then secondary guard, Belitis, 15 and a 6. I mean, really a 9 and a 6.5. Olich hasn't been that bad, but I'd say Belitis has been better. And Page an 18 and an 8. No doubt Page has been the better option there. And then from there, Panescu, who's been better between Sita and Good. 11 and a 10. It's been Sita. I think I got my boys. Although Baxter is hurt. 12 and a 12. If Baxter is healthy, he should play. Yeah, Page is a really good sixth man. Everybody else looks good. So again, considering it's the playoffs, Herb plays like 45 minutes a night. Bledsoe's got to be close. Drop Panescu and Page's minutes down. Let's get the other boys up there. Oh, Tex, what's going on? We're playing stuff with Monk. How did that go? I think my team's good, man. Not really too much that I have to do. Not too much that I have to do. The question is, though, for you guys, because the pressure is all on your shoulders. Actually, no, we did set up your team. There we go. That's right. That's how you wanted it set up. So it is Humphrey, Haynes, Wesley, Lekic, and Keefe as your main men. Although, was that? No, yeah, that was for playoffs. That wasn't just for regular season, right? I'm pretty sure. But that's... Yeah, because Todor would have had more minutes in the regular season. That's what you guys wanted last time. I forgot about that. It's a bold strategy. Have I seen Schumacher yet? I have not. Crashed as Jason. I have still yet to play Friday the 13th. I don't know. Interested, but also like, too many games. So let's do this, chat. I don't really care too much about my challenge against Cleveland. Again, I've already won our head-to-head battle. But they have Darius Garland, Dedrick Cameron, Arvydas Novak. They have a decent team. For you guys up against the Rockets, you are dealing with a fucking dynamite tandem of Gerardo Alvarez and Dustin Toscano. Good luck, chat. You're gonna need it. You are gonna need it. That is a tough team. That is a real tough team. Let's see who you can, see what you can do. See who you can deal with. So Breeze and Rocket game 1. It'll sim. Well, actually, I guess my game's earlier. Alright, well here we'll sim through my first game. Against Cleveland, they have home court. I'm not going to jump into my games unless it is an elimination game or deep in the playoffs. And the good thing is I didn't need to. 115 to 104. We take game 1 over the Cavs as Steele put up 29 points, double-double. Bledsoe with a double-double. Herb just 14 points. Fouled out because that's what Herb Dixon does in the playoffs sometimes. For them, Garland had 21 points. It's not bad. What about for you guys? Game 1 against the Rockets. Let's see what you can do. Your first ever playoff game right here. You had the play-in round matches before this. It's your first ever playoff game. And the Rockets run away with it in the fourth quarter. 107-89, your first ever playoff game. It is a loss. Nobody over 20 points. Lekic led the way with 19. I don't know if you had a single player in double-double territory either. You really didn't. Keith, 10 points, 9 rebounds. That was rough. That was rough for you guys. Toscano put up 30 points. Looks like Alvarez may have gotten roughed up, though, so that's not bad. 13 points in the fourth quarter. You'll love to see it. Game number 2, Airmen and Cavs. Brooke Wesley is apparently back to 100%, which is only good news for me. See if it leads to success on court, though. Very close game with the Cavs here, back and forth, and Cleveland's going to survive 113-111. They tie the series up at 2 apiece as Baxter had 34 points, Herb 24 points, 12 rebounds, 9 assists. Beautiful. But not enough, because Novak and Garland both did very well. Damn, man. Damn. Sin, well done. Now, Altex, I have to ask, is it Jim Florentine, like, himself, or is it, like, exclusively an account for the puppet? Alright. Oh, hey. We lose game number 2. If you guys lose game 2, you're in a rough spot. Let's see what happens. It's not looking good. Oh, chat, no. And the Houston Rockets take a 2-0 series lead. 20 points for Wesley to lead the way. Haynes, Kramer, oh boy. Thomas with 35 points. Whoo! I mean, Spanky depends on the price. Like, I got 2 Kraken jerseys with customized names, but obviously they're more expensive. Chat. Personally, I would change, well, I don't even know if I'd change the minute structure, to be honest. Like, it's fine. It's just you're not winning. Game number 3 between Omaha and Cleveland. We've yet to have a close game that's worth jumping into. And a damn good start to game 3 for Omaha, and we are going to carry that all the way to a W, but barely. 120-116, a triple-double for Herb Dixon. 25 points, 15 rebounds, 12 assists, 24 points for Baxter. You'll love to see it. Nearly a double-double for Berea. They had 30 points with Cameron, 24 with Garland, 20 with Novak, but we were able to hold on. Game 3 for you guys. Your first ever home playoff game. It needs to be a win, or you are in a low. Oh my God. 33-9. Oh my God, chat. No. Chat. $137-101. Wesley was your leading scorer with just 19 points. Alvarez with 34, Thomas with 26, Holloway with 24. It is not looking good for the Honolulu Breeze, as Omaha goes to game 4 with the Cavs. I don't know what to tell you guys, to be honest. It's not as if it's like your rotation or anything that's hot garbage, as Omaha wins again. 120-115. Incredibly close series with the Cavs. Berea led the way with 24 points. Herb didn't foul out. He was only 5 of 15 from the floor with 12 points. That's shocking that I was able to get a win when Herb struggled. Cameron put up 36 points for them. Omaha, 1 win away from round number 2. Honolulu have their backs against the wall. Here it is, Game 4. You're down 3-0 in the series. And the Rockets doing a good job of putting the pressure on. And the Honolulu Breeze have been swept in round 1 in their first ever playoff matchup. Humphries with 26 points, a double-double for Horace Keefe. But a real lack of secondary scoring from there as Alvarez put up 40 points, a double-double for Hammonds and Holloway. That's rough. Again, I don't totally disagree with the idea of what the team has. Humphries, I mean, his efficiency rating really dropped off. Or his player efficiency rating dropped off. The efficiency rating was still decent. Humphries wasn't that bad, but still probably wasn't as good as what you needed. Like, his assist ratio was down, the pure point rating was way down. Charlie Haynes dropped off. No doubt about it, Charlie Haynes dropped off from what he was in the regular season. Wesley dropped off from what he was in the regular season. Vlad Lekic almost disappeared from what he was in the regular season. Horace Keefe, you had very few players. Jermaine Westbrook was very good in the time he saw, as was Lothar Kramer. Phil Lyles dropped off a bit in terms of his standard of play. Todor played really well. Tommy Campbell's level of play really fell off. I think that was the big issue. A lot of your guys just didn't show up. You didn't need me to tell you that based off of the results. Tough call. Could have gotten Westbrook, Kramer, and Todor in there, but how much would it have really helped? That's a rough way to bounce. Alex, indeed, I have won a title with Omaha. Chat made the playoffs for the first time, and you see how that went. It's game number 5 against Cleveland. Let's see if I can close out this series. Again, we're just going to sim it. See what happens. And the Omaha Airmen survive 109-108 and eliminate the Cavs in just 5 games in an incredibly close series. Herb Dixon, 38 points, 22 rebounds. 21 points for Baxter as well. Garland with 28 and a double-double, but it wasn't enough. Herb Dixon takes over, and Omaha becomes the 2nd or 3rd team, depending on when Detroit clinched, to punch their ticket to the next round. We're going to lose, but at least I won a round. As Portland beat Utah, Denver beat Dallas, San Antonio beat Minnesota, and we don't have to talk about what happened to you. Washington beat Miami, Detroit beat Philadelphia, and Milwaukee beat Boston in 7. So it's Detroit and Milwaukee, Portland, Denver, Houston, San Antonio, and I get to play the Washington Wizards, which means I'm fudged. I didn't swear that time. Yeah, I'm boned, man. This one's over before it even started. Like, this game's over. I don't have a chance. This series is done before it even begins. The Wizards are going to win the NBA title. It's done. Finito. Finished. I am toast. Look at the money, too. It's because Zion's only on $56 million. Zion's going to leave at the end of this year, and they'll have Doncic and Ayton. All right. Game number 1 against the Wiz. Make it quick and easy, Washington, please. Make it quick and easy and as painless as possible. We kept it close, but Washington win 106-104. 24 points for Bledsoe, a double-double for Herb, 22 points for Steele. But Zion's 31 points were enough. Luka really struggled. That's a game we gotta win. God, that sucks. That is a game that I really, really needed to win. You only had one of their star players show up. You can't let him off the hook like that, and we did. But we do walk away with a Game 2 victory, 111-91. So at least we're not going to get swept. Herb Dixon with a double-double, 29 points, 12 rebounds, 20 points for Baxter. Not bad. Bledsoe was up there too. Up your minutes for your starters. Herb Dixon's already playing 45 minutes a game, dog. We could have a 2-0 series lead here. Bledsoe will leave in, even if he's hurt. It is a 1-1 split. Let's see what happens in Game 3. The series could be a toss-up. I am still expecting us to lose as Washington tries to chase us down. They're not going to be able to. 133-112. Omaha has a 2-0 or 2-1, excuse me, series lead. It could be a 3-0 if we didn't blow it in Game 1. Herb Dixon, 35 points, 13 rebounds, 22 points for steal, 20 points for Berea. Doncic with 23 points. Again, Zion double-double, but didn't really show up. And DeAndre Ayton has been very, very quiet. We go to Game 4. I am fully expecting a tied series here because I refuse to get my hopes up. Fully expecting a tied series. There it is. Looks like we had that one in the bags, and then we didn't. 121-111. 35 points and 13 rebounds for Herb. This team choked. Zion and Luka both showed up, and that's the difference. Ayton also had a double-double. We could have swept that series. Instead, we're tied at 2 apiece, and I can't help but think we're losing because of that. Because you let a team like Washington stick around in the series and don't make them pay for their mistakes, you're going to lose. And Game 5 here in Washington, indeed, we are playing from behind the whole way, and the Wizards are 1 game away from the Eastern Conference Final. They win 131-105. Herb with 5 fouls, 16 points, 12 rebounds. He was a minus 32 on the night. So was Steele at 22 points. Luka showed up. Ayton showed up. Zion had 18 points. We're toast. We had a chance to win this series, and we didn't capitalize. Bottom line, that sucks. It's game number 6. Likely our last home game of the season, unless we find a way to force Game 7 back at home, and that is not going to happen. As expected, the Wizards win. We put up a fight. We at least went to 6. Herb, 18 and 18 and a double-double, but that is not enough. We blew it. We blew it. As Houston beat San Antonio in 6, Denver beat Portland in 6, and Detroit and Milwaukee, it'll be Milwaukee winning in 7, so... Fuck. Man. Team really choked. Team really choked. They had a great chance to win that series, and they blew it. Baxter was solid, if not better than he was in the regular season. Same thing for the young Diego Berea. He was pretty good. Mitch Steele, pretty good. The performance rating dropped off a little bit. Bledsoe, pretty damn good. Herb was fantastic. They just had too much. Mladen Olich's efficiency rating really died. I think overall, our depth couldn't live up to the moment. That was the big issue. Our depth couldn't live up to the moment for the most part and really make things happen there. Not a bad season at all, but still no return to the finals, as it will be Washington and Denver. So the Nuggets knocked out the team in 7 that beat you guys in the Rockets. What do the Nuggets look like? Cade Cunningham, Brandon Ingram, Brandon Felder, Wendell Carter. It's a good team, but the Wizards are clear. Oh, good. Cade Cunningham, by the way, has another broken right ankle, and he's out for the season. This poor kid. God damn it. If that happens to him in real life, that's going to be so sad. This is the Wizards' title. I can't believe the Rockets lost, given that Denver's without their best player. But yeah, this is the Wizards. Oh, yeah. 5 games, the Washington Wizards win the title. Said the second we saw their lineup, they were likely to win the damn thing. And indeed, they did. As Luka Doncic was Finals MVP. I have to hope and pray that Zion leaves. because I have no chance otherwise if Zion doesn't leave. But indeed, the big three in Washington with Zion, Luka, and DeAndre Ayton will win it all. As Embiid retires, Clint Capella, Fred VanVleet, the Washington basketball team. That's rough, but hey, as you guys were saying, oh, at least if we lose to the champions. Well, I did. Doesn't feel any better. Doesn't feel any better. Staff retirement, Sidney Lowe. Hall of Fame inductees, Embiid made the Hall of Fame. Averaged just under a double-double. Jersey retirements, Embiid's 21, retired by the Sixers. 2016 to 2031. League meetings. We have one new rule. Modify the goaltending rule such that once the ball hits the rim, any player can make a play. Interesting. Everything else was rejected. Slight change of the goaltending rule. And with that, chat, we go to the lottery, which literally doesn't matter because neither of us have a pick in the lottery for the very first time. The Hornets, Nets, and Clippers end up with the top picks. You guys will be selecting 20th. It still shows the Timberwolves with your pick, even though it's not the case. I have the 23rd pick. I don't know what's up with that. It's a hell of a glitch. So to the draft we go. You guys did make the playoffs. You got absolutely stomped. I made the playoffs and ran into a super team that ended up being defending champions. So what are you going to do? All right. Let's go ahead. Sim to use a pick. Wait, did Minnesota actually have your pick? I think Minnesota actually had your pick. What? But we don't do trade. Why did Minnesota have your pick? Okay. Tell you what. Because that's kind of fucked. Let me test something really quickly. Let me test something here. So I presume they took Lonnie Terrell. Draft summary. They took Tyson Blake, a 76 overall at 19 years old. Starter comp. Potential shows up as a B+. So, I'll tell you what we'll do, chat. I will trade you my pick, and then I will force trade with Cleveland. Actually, there were two other picks after that. There was Sean Roy, all-star bench, and Esteban Sosa, who was also starter, who shows up as a C+. So what we will do is we'll look at Blake. We'll look at Roy. And we will look at Sosa. I know exactly how I want to fix this. I'm going to trade you guys my pick really quickly. You'll get this next pick. Shit. Pick. Not used to doing that, obviously. Yeah, you technically don't even have a first round pick. That's fucked. So the best way to do this is that we're going to have to swap second rounders to get it done. I think. Yeah, we're going to have to swap second rounders to do this, but that's okay. Maybe. Well, actually, All right. Let me just see what I can do here. Let's see what I can do here. So I'll swap my first for your second. And then we'll go with the Airman again. The Cavs are up next. In 2 seconds, what I'll do is I'll send a second rounder way down the road to Cleveland. That way I'll be up next. And then for you guys, again, keep my first, that's fine. I don't really know. Yeah, I'll have to send your second round pick and then reimburse my second round pick down the road. So, with that, that means I have a first and second this year. You guys have a first and second this year. So we did what we had to do to make that work. So what we're going to do, chat, is you are going to get to look at who you want here. And basically, out of the 2 players Minnesota took and the player that Philly took, you can select somebody here, and then I will let you choose out of those 4 players, once we know their potential, what guy you guys want. So this is literally a no-risk pick. You technically have 3 first-rounders to pick from. That's how we're going to handle this. So looking at who was available here. Top of the board in terms of overall, Antoine Pope. Also a starter. What is your biggest need? A superstar. That's your biggest need. You have depth. You need a game changer. Melvin Dawson, no info. Let's actually take a look here at the scouting percentages. Anybody over a 50? That's who you're going to have info on. Perry Randall, starter bench. All-NBA to bench for Taylor Parks. I'll write him down really quickly. Starter bench from McGuire. Starter bench. All-star bench for Randolph. You'd still probably rather have Parks, but I mean, we'll hold off on him. Harrison, Robinson, another all-star bench. Starter bench. Oh boy. All-NBA bench. Very Greek. Patsatsoglu. Sure. Anybody else with an All-NBA ceiling? Gary Houston. I mean, you just lost to Houston, so there you go. Could be your guy. Ricky Wilkins. All-NBA bench. Clark Green, the point guard. Starter bench. J.R. McLeod, the McLeod. Also a point guard. Starter bench, all-star bench, all-star, starter bench, all-star, starter. All-NBA Lonnie Shaw. Power forward. Whole lot of all-stars. And then Pope was the straight starter. Interesting. So, in terms of the guys that apparently have good reports, and yes, Sin saw Otis Blackman, who was all-star bench. Let's look by position really quickly. There are 3 point guards, a small forward, and a power forward that had at least, a high-end ceiling, apparently. And out of those point guards, it would be, I mean, first and foremost, there's Otis Blackman's stats. He's 21. Decent shooter, decent defense and playmaking, decent physicality. Like, Blackman is okay. I don't know if he's the guy that you necessarily want. There was McLeod, who as well had a higher ceiling. He's 20 years old. Not quite as well developed yet as Blackman, but he is a year younger. There was also Clark Green, who again, not the most developed player in the world at 22. And then there was Houston, who honestly, good shooter, decent playmaker. IQ's a bit low, good physicality. I mean, if you're going point guard, Gary Houston might not be that bad. There is also Timmy Mann, who has badges, but he's only all-star bench. So, tough call at point guard. The forward was this guy here. He's 18. Needs a lot of development. And actually, really quickly, in terms of guards, Marcus Aldridge Go figure. Has the best potential, apparently. Shooting guard wise, it's looking rough, man. I mean, Harrison, if you want to trust the potential. And then again, at forward, you do have someone like Wennington. Good inside shooter, good physicality at 18. Wennington might not be a bad shout. And then Patsasoglu, or whatever the hell. Patsasoglu, whatever. Again, 18 needs a lot of work. And then at power forward, there were two. It was Parks, who is 22 and needs a lot of work. And Shaw, who is 21 and looks a little bit more developed in some ways. That's rough, man. And then for centers, I don't know what you guys want to do here. I don't know what you want to do. And then in terms of guys who are projected to go next, you got Blackman, McLeod, Lucas Bryan. So any suggestions, chat, on players that you were interested in, because this looks rough. This looks rough. You know, Antoine Pope probably has the highest rating, but you also took Jeffrey O'Neal last year. You have Phil Lyles there. Take the guy Mini drafted. We just take Mini's first round of next year. Nope, you're either going to end up with whatever player you select here, or one of the three players that were selected ahead of you. You're not taking Mini's first round of next year. Honestly, I mean, again, in terms of highest ceiling, we focused on the 6 that apparently have high ceilings. I mean, I feel like the best shout out of any of those guys was probably Gary Houston. There's Marvin Butler at 20. Yeah, the All-Star comp. Loca shouts out Houston. Anybody disagree? Or is Houston the guy? I mean, he did just lose to Houston, so it'd be pretty funny. Gary Houston. I mean, again, it's literally no risk. Like, you have the chance to trade him away. Sin's going for McLeod. Again, if you're going to be able to make sure that you get the best player available between Blake, Sosa, Roy, and whoever you take here. So, even if this guy isn't good, you'll be fine. Probably. It's Houston or McLeod. It's a 2-1 right now. All right. Well, chat's a little bit dead. We're going with Gary Houston. More support for the Gary. Gary is the pick. Brings me up next. And I really doubt I'm going to find anybody who's much better. But we will see. Let's see. Gilmore. Andre Doyle. I don't think you guys had Doyle on your list, did you? Starter bench. Starter for Keon Ramsey. Starter bench. McLeod is there. Higher than All-Star. Lonnie Shaw. There's a power forward you guys have looked at as well. Starter, Antoine Pope. Also at center. Clark Green at point guard. Let's see what I can find here. Okay. In terms of overall, there was no real guarantees of anything great. So, point guards. It's either McLeod or Green. I mean, McLeod might be better. It's just, does Green have the better potential? It's kind of a tough call. I mean, I'm not really sold on either of them, if we're being honest. So then that kind of brings me to looking at the big men, which is also scary because I really shouldn't need anybody. That's either Shaw or Doyle. Doyle's 19. Shaw's 21. I'd probably lean towards Doyle. And then at center, it's between Pope and Ramsey. Rebounding goes to Pope. Defense goes to Ramsey. Just does Ramsey have the potential? The IQ on Pope is also terrible. Oh, the way I see it is between Ramsey or Doyle. This could be a pretty shit draft for both of us. I'm going to go for Ramsey for the sole purpose that he's a stash player. And I think that extra bit of time will give me... it'll be a good thing. But, yeah, Keon Ramsey out of Slovenia. Apparently, far off of where he should have been drafted. So round 2, you guys are on the clock. And we'll see who's left out of anybody that you actually have info on. So there's Lee Randolph, all-star forward potentially. Another all-star in Harper. At point guard, Lawal at point guard. Aldridge at point guard. Jesus. Miller, forward. I don't believe there's any All-NBAs left. So it's either one of the 3 point guards or one of the forwards. Out of the point guards, Lawal, Aldridge, or Harper. So Aldridge is 22. Stats don't look brutal. Good playmaker, good physicality. Lawal is 19 and right now is trash at least. And then there was Harper. Honestly, Harper's your best bet. Decent shooter, decent playmaker. The potential looks trash, but he actually has badges. If you were going point guards, I'd go with Harper. And if you were going for one of the 2 forwards, it is either Miller or Randolph. Miller's 22, Randolph is 19. And Randolph has him beat in most of the stats defensively, but offensively, Miller is much better. I would go for Randolph or Harper, and personally, Chad, if I was you, I'd go for Harper. Any disagreements on Claude Harper? I think he is your best player available, at least that you have information on. Very, very slim pickings here. What about center? I mean, you didn't have any information on centers, and there's basically nobody left. Yeah, I mean, there's nobody left. Most of this info you can't trust. I mean, Wade's on 12% scouted. This dude's on 57%. Could go for Nico as a stash player, but that's pretty rough. Again, like Johnny Moss, be like, oh, he has good interior defense. He's on 45% scouted. So, all right. Well, I don't think the plan was for you guys to take 2 point guards, but honestly, beggars can't be choosers. Claude Harper is the pick, and we'll see what happens with Houston. One's projected as high as the middle of the first round, so you might have a guy who's a steal here. Could be the case. We'll sim the Airman's next pick here. And, God, I have very few options as well. So Doyle is an All-NBA. Apparently. Doyle's the only guy who's listed as potentially all-NBA. He's 19 years old. You guys took 2 guards. I took 2 big men. Out of just pure necessity, and that's the only information that we have. I'll take Andre Doyle. Made more 3-pointers than any other power forward. Cool beans. So to the end of the draft we go. Again, number 1 was Wes Webb. Going to Charlotte. Bruce Brand, Alan Tinsley. And again, you guys will have a chance with Blake, Roy, and Sosa to swap Gary Houston for one of them. If you choose to, that decision will come a little bit later. And then in the second round, and actually here, if we look at the first round, Ramsey was a 74 at 19 years old. Houston's a 73 at 22. Second round, Claude Harper, 74, 19 years old. Doyle ended up being a 71 at 19. So you guys did pretty well there as long as the potential pans out. Pretty well indeed. I think both teams had a pretty good draft. So for the rookie signings, I'll hold on to Ramsey and sign Doyle. You guys will take Harper and Houston. Elton Brewer is yours. You'll look to hold on to him for the moment. Sid, it always changes before the start of the season. That's why I didn't check there. The qualifying offers. You guys will look to keep Lulu. Gonna have to do a lot of work to keep the teams together now. Zion is indeed a free agent. Thank fuck. Please don't come back. That's all I can ask. God help me if he goes back to the Pelicans, or not to the Pelicans, but to the Wizards. Alright. Johan Sundin ended up being a free agent. Alright, Zion does leave Washington, but he signs in Philadelphia. And Gerardo Alvarez leaves the Rockets and signs with Indiana. Anthony Edwards at the Heat. Oh, that's good. I also get to deal with Devin Booker now. You guys get to deal with John Morant, Nikola Jokic. There's just no escape for either team. We always get to deal with really good players no matter what we do. No matter what. Apparently Steeda and Kramer are both looking to move. See what happens. Again, no matter what, we'll match these offers. Unless that's where it's coming from, the whole match offers, but then why would we have to give up our draft picks to match offers? It doesn't make sense as to why the Timberwolves end up with your picks. So player progression. Humphreys is now an 86. Westbrook's an 83. Campbell declined a bit. O'Neal up to an 81. So that one season in the G League did him wonders. He should be in your starting lineup this year. Brewer's up to a 73, and Lambert dropped. For the Airmen, Barea's up to an 80, Steele is 78, Butler's a 77, as is Page and Olich. Manesco is 73, Weaver is 73. Okay. We got some decisions to make. I think both teams have some pretty big decisions to make here. But let's get to your team here. Your big decision, chat. Your big decision indeed. So you took Houston, who is a B-. Harper, by the way, was a B, so your second round pick was better. But Houston, 22, a 73, and a B-. 22, 73, and a B-. Let's go look elsewhere. For the Sixers, they took Roy, who is 21, a 73, and a B. So already you're probably going to want to consider that trade for Houston. And then the Timberwolves took Blake. I think you guys have a trade right there. That player would have been available to you. 19 years old, a 74, and a B+. For Tyson Blake, they also took the center in Sosa, who's only a C+. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that's a no-brainer. You guys got screwed out of your pick. You have the right to take Tyson Blake. That is a no-brainer. games. So it will be. Houston on his way to Minnesota, coincidentally, for the power forward Tyson Blake. Apparently we can't trade for him while he's injured, so you might have to wait a day or two. That's bullshit. Come on. Sim through dates. Just gonna make it a pain in the ass, isn't it? Oh no, I don't want to do Trade Finder. Post trade. Alright, Minnesota, can I make this deal, please? Son of a bitch. I don't want to cost us any games in the early season because our rosters aren't complete, but that's a pain. Alright, well, there's a lot to do with setting up these teams, but yeah, the decision's made. I don't know if turning off injuries will help, to be honest, because he's already hurt. Let's find out. Will that help? Yeah, he's still hurt. Still hurt. Damn. So, is what it is, I do suppose, but I'll make sure that he ends up on the team. Yeah, I don't see anything about trading for injured players or not, so we'll make sure we get him. And that kind of, you know, I mean, it leads into some of the other decisions that you have with the team, and we'll get everything set up here in due time.